And we are going to start off with a presentation of our Conference Champs girls soccer team. Oh, their shirts came. Oh, nice. Their shirts look so good.
All right, thank you guys all for coming. I'm Ryan Skenzel, the athletic director. These are always one of my favorite nights, is when we get to honor our teams. This year, this is our third conference championship team that we get to honor. So tonight we're here to celebrate the accomplishments of our girls soccer program with their 9-1-1 conference record, clinches share of the conference championship. We're not only here to celebrate their conference championship, but we're also here to celebrate their accomplishments, their resilience, their teamwork, and their hard work and dedication. Throughout the season, these young athletes have demonstrated the commitment, pushing themselves and each other to new heights. Their hard work on the field and off the field has definitely been shown, and we're extremely proud of them. To Coach Marquez, Coach Ortiz, and Coach Grider, our players, our families, thank you all for your hard work and your dedication, the hours you guys put in, both in the off season, during the season, early mornings, late nights. We are so proud of you guys. We're extremely honored to have you guys here to celebrate the conference championship. So one round of applause before we part of our tradition here is we started giving out conference championship rings. So in a second, I'm going to have Coach Marquez come up here, and he's going to call each of the girls to get a conference ring. But first, we also like to present them the conference championship trophy. So congratulations, everybody.
That's close.
All right, so Coach Marquez is going to go ahead and call the girls up one by one. You guys can come up here. We'll give you a ring. Go back up there. We'll take pictures. And then afterward, for any of the families, we're going to go downstairs into the Swanson and then take pictures of them down there as well. So, Coach Marquez, the floor is yours.
All right, first up, we have Stephanie Lozama. We have Melanie Amaya. Camila Jimenez. Julie Diaz. Jasmine Marquez. Yumi Padua. Brisa Lesama. Leslie Rodriguez. Nicole Zetloka. Clara Sicha. Kimberly Cruz. Jasmine Cuevas. Marely Martinez. Demaria Cala Gil. Elena Raymond. Jalen Amaro. Alexa Lozano. Sakali Caballero. And Paulina Gallardo.
And then we can't forget Coach Grider. Congratulations. And Coach Marquez, both boys and girls champions as well. Any parents or family, feel free to step up. Let's take a picture of them. We'll also go into Swanson to take pictures as well.
Good job, Grider! Woo!
Okay, I'm going down.
All right, thank you. Hey, make the second row. Make the second row so you guys can go.
Who's moved this table?
Yeah.
Yeah, parents, yeah, anybody feel free to come up?
Anything. I think so, Alexa. What do you think? Rings? I think so.
Where you bite them?
All right, congratulations. Yeah, any other parents, you guys can come downstairs? Congratulations. Thank you guys.
Great job. Great job.
We go this way, guys. Go that way.
Great job.
Always nice to lead off with activity. All right, so we are going to move on to number, thank you, Mr. Skenzel and the soccer team.
Hey, soccer, girls soccer, come.
Yeah. Wait, transition.
That one. That's over there has some.
All right, but now we're going to move to audiences. So persons wishing to address the Board of Education are expected to follow the School Board Policy 2230. So I think when we look at the list here, we're going to start with Mr. Brady. Hi,
Yeah.
Mr. Brady.
Congratulations to the soccer team. and their
Yeah,
parents.
today.
I want to thank President and the school board for allowing me to speak. It's great as a former teacher to see community members that stay and are on the school board and won't serve. And I know Jennifer's got her doctorate, and I think Leanne's got a doctorate, and I know Bill Julius has a doctorate. I do want to talk on character of Bill Julius. I've known him throughout his life, and his family has been active in this community for a long time. The Deneffs, the Muroses, Helen Mellis, who was, I think, on the school board longer than any other person here, and the first a woman on the board, and his father, Constantine Julius, was mayor in Bedford Park. Bill, his first, I think, connection with Argo was when he was a young kid, and I think it was the school's 50th anniversary or 75th, I'm not sure which one. They took a picture of him and it went in the yearbook, and if you ever see that yearbook picture, it's pretty amazing. He always had a deep connection with Argo. I know Bill to be a very religious person. If you go to Holy Cross Church for their Greek festival, and I go because I love Greek food, but he's one of the cooks. His father, there were 7 family members that put down their houses as collateral when they built Holy Cross. And Bill's parents were one of those 7 families. He's very active with his kids. And really took care of his dad. His dad had a serious illness and took good care of him till he died. as a student in Argo, he was a good student. He was a horrible basketball player when he came in as a freshman, but he ended up starting because he just worked at it. He was obsessed with it. He was a pretty good tennis player, and that carried over into his career. As a teacher, first year, there wasn't a full-time job in social studies at that time. He took a part-time job and turned down a full-time job at another school because he wanted to come to Argo. That was important to him. I know myself at my last year here, and I think Jennifer could relate to this, on float building, it was putt putt football night, and you know, you're trying to finish the float. That was always an important thing. And all the board members and a lot of the seniors disappeared, so I'm out there alone trying to get the thing ready for the next day for the parade. And Bill was a young teacher at that time. He stayed and helped me, and I really appreciated that at the time. When he was talking about going to a doctorate program, he asked me, he said, "What do you think?" And I said, "Why do you want to get a doctorate?" I said, "The first thing, as an educator, as a teacher, you're going to make as much money if you get a master's plus 60 and you coach a couple of sports. And your time," and I'm not going to Brendan, because you got a doctorate too, but there's going to be a lot more stress if you go into the higher levels of administration. And he said, "Well, I think I can do better for the district." So, and I think that sums up Bill, what his goals were at Argo. In Bedford Park, our relationship with him has always been, I think he's shown very strong ethics. The corn products or ingredient TIF was extremely important to the district, and also to a lot of people that have jobs there. I know Bill was trying to squeeze the scoreboard out of them, but he did get something from ingredient that helped the district and allowed them to stay here in Argo Summit, Bedford Park area. The fire academy that we started, I know Dr. Cotter's been pretty much involved with that, but Bill cooperated with that. We've been working on a solar energy project that'll probably go in on Mr. Coulis's property, and hopefully that'll benefit directly Argo. He helped with I know our one police officer that's been the community resource officer here, and it was a little iffy because only a little small part of Bedford Park's on Argo High School property, but he worked that out. The community planning meetings that he held would set up a lot of goals for the things that the board has accomplished. I thought were great. I was invited to those meetings, and a lot of people were involved. The accomplishments of the school. You know, when I walk in this part of the building, I see the athletic fields. It's just amazing. I graduated from Argo in 1969, and we were one of the poor districts, and we had probably the worst facilities. But what the board, the staff, working with Dr. Tulios has accomplished with the building is just outstanding. And the kids, you know, I'm not in the school very often during the day. I think maybe 3 or 4 times this year, but the kids are just fantastic. And working in track meets as I do, they're just, they're very, very great kids, and I think that's all due to your working together. Again, my dealings with Dr. Tulios, he has always shown the highest ethics, and I hope that follows through after you finish your forensic audit. I really commend the board. I've been in positions in Bedford about 5 times with similar situations, and a couple of here with staff members when I was an administrator. And the privacy of the individual and their families is extremely important. And I think the board has done everything to keep that in place. I hope people let the board do their job. I think with the professionals and knowing what I know of you on the board, everything will be done correctly and properly. You know, 25, we were counting, I had an election this year, and I was unopposed, but we had opposition in Bedford. We had 37% of our people vote. That's one of the lowest turnouts we had. We were the third highest in Cook County.
Yep.
In a school board election, I don't know what your final total was, but I know in different towns, because I looked at the towns, I bet it was right around 20%. You know, the people on a school board, unlike a village board, you get paid to be on a village board, okay? School board members don't. And they have to take a lot of, I think, more difficult decisions in a village board, because you're dealing with kids. And I hope that people will be objective, let them follow through with this forensic audit, and go from there. But knowing Bill Tulios over the years and seeing what he's done here, I'm very, very hopeful that things work out good. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brandy.
Thank you.
That's great. Number 2 on the list is Christina Smith. Yeah. Hey, Christina, can you state your name and, I'm sorry, I forgot to say this, we all knew where Mr. Brady lives. Your name and how you're associated with the district.
Good afternoon. My name is Christina Smith. I am a resident of Justice, Illinois.
Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board. I come to you as a concerned community member and as a mother of an incoming student in the next 2 years. My concern primarily lies in regards to the board's unjust actions. In the recent months, there has been a lot of talk surrounding the school and Dr. Tulios and the board. The controversy has caused many people to do their own research, including myself. Reviewing the board minute meetings from last year in the spring and fall of 2024, when Dr. Tulios brought these charges forward to all 7 of you. You, the Board of Education, reviewed those charges, approved them, and after the Assistant Superintendent of Finance verified these charges, you advised that Dr. Tulios reimburse those specific charges. Dr. Grenier, in your recent letter that is posted in the Des Plaines Valley newspaper, you preach about transparency and that Dr. Tulios is now under investigation regarding these unauthorized charges. I'm just a little bit confused here because these unauthorized charges are the exact charges that you all as board members approved last year. Now, going back on your vote is a direct violation of your own oath of office, which includes your failure to protect and support the superintendent. The board fell to the pressures of their friends. It is also known in the Southborough community that you have a strong friendship with the Linton family, particularly with Ms. Sarah Linton Ursary, who is also Cassandra Linton's sister-in-law. This makes me question your honesty and transparency. Your own board policy number 530 regarding nepotism was violated by you all. Mr. Linton publicly stated that he is in fact acting on revenge because his wife was terminated. He also publicly stated that Dr. Grenier and his sister Tiara are very good friends, and he has faith in her. This makes me question you, Dr. Grenier, honestly, and your ability to remain unbiased. It just seems that you are a part of this and you have been manipulated by the members of the board to try to remove Dr. Tulios from his seat. Mr. Linton has also aligned himself with you, which he publicly stated, and it was recorded at his informational gathering. His wife, Cassandra, repeatedly stated that she was occasionally late. However, when you review the meeting minutes from the March board meeting, Dr. Grenier stated that she was late more than 16 times. The patch states that Cassandra was seen sneaking in on the cameras and that she was also insubordinate. In August of 2024, Dr. Grenier, you flipped the board and you voted for Cassandra to remain on probation and employed. Your decision-making abilities, I believe, have been blurred because of your own inability to remain unbiased. In my opinion, it would be in the best interest of this community and this school for you to be removed from this Board of Education and also removed as president. Dr. Grenier, did you use the termination of Cassandra Linton and the negative publicity surrounding using Dr. Tulios as an opportunity for you to become the board's president? If she was wrongfully terminated, why haven't they retained an attorney? I am very concerned that you have allowed others to manipulate your thinking. I urge the board to consider Dr. Tulios' character and his unwavering commitment to this community, especially to the Black and brown community. He is the first white superintendent in this school's history to ever pay tribute to a Black woman, having a statue erected and a walkway placed in honor of her struggles. And we're not just talking about any woman, we're talking about Mamie Till Mobley. She was a catalyst to the civil rights movement. As a Black woman today, I stand here in front of you knowing that this man could have just ignored all of her achievements and her accomplishments. But instead, you know what he did? He chose to honor them because he knew that that was the right thing to do. And every day when I drive past this building, I see her statue, and it sends the message to me to stand up for what is right, which is why I'm here. It would be a huge loss for this community if he left. His actions of holding himself accountable are honorable to me, which is the opposite of what the 7 of you here today have displayed. Dr. Tulios' place is here with Argo Community High School. He is, in my opinion, the captain of this ship. And to see in this day and age, and it has been a struggle, to look past this, because we live in a world where you think racism and revenge and all the negative things, especially when you're on a school board, don't exist. But it doesn't feel like that now in this situation. So I urge you to do the right thing. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Frank? Okay, Frank, can you say your full name and how you're associated with the board?
Yes,
School. Sorry.
Good afternoon or good evening. My name is Frank Avila. I'm an attorney in private practice. I represent Mr. William Tulios. I wanted to say a couple things on his behalf here, and I gave counsel here a letter from D217 and D217. Alan D217 is an alumni of this school, and his father was a school board president, and their businesses in the district, and they've given back to this community. So I'm going to read that letter, but I also gave each member a letter that I gave to the attorney here, the attorney for the board, for the school district. Hopefully he gave you each that letter that you could refer to it. I just want to briefly discuss some of the accomplishments that William Tulios has achieved as about between 2020 and 2025 here in Argo Community High School. In 2020, he saved the school $197,457. In 2021 to 2022, he saved the school about $238,982. 2022 to 2023, he saved the school $375,000. 2023 to 2024, he saved the school $359,568. And in 2024 to 2025, the present, $576,543 were saved. In those 5 years of his stewardship as superintendent, he saved $1,747,568. Also, in the last 5 years, when he started, the school district had $33 million in savings, and starting in a very difficult time of COVID in 2020, at least towards the beginning of 2020, and now it's $55 million. So I'm from $33 million to $55 million. And since he's been here since 2020, every single year in a row, has been in the U.S. news at this school. Argo Community High School has been in U.S. and World News Best School Award, and he achieved Illinois State Board of Education for 5 years in a row, commendable school rating status. Now, this is taking into account that his salary as superintendent compared to surrounding school districts is anywhere from 50 to 100,000 to half less of other superintendents, including, I believe, the last superintendent was around 275,000, and in neighboring school districts it goes as high as 450,000. I believe his is 225,000, if I'm not mistaken. He received the AAA credit rating, the highest credit rating from all fiscal institutions from the PMA associations, and clean fiscal audits from Baker Tilly for the past 5 years. He demonstrated compliance of 98% or higher with all audits from fiscal, educational, state, and OSHA in the past 5 years, both federal and state, and safety, and fiscal, and educational. $6 million was given back to the taxpayers in property tax relief, a grant in the last 5 years. And he also gave a pay raise to the teachers in his time there without a commensurate property tax increase to the residents. He formed partnerships with the DLN Latinx Cypress Community Association, Moraine Valley Community College and Career Associations, the Lions Club of Summit, the municipalities of Bridgeview, Summit, Justice, Bridgeview Chamber of Commerce, the Mamie and Emmett Till Foundation. Of course, we have the Mamie Till Memorial Statue here. The Argo Higher Education Foundation, and its first high school in the area to observe the Iftar dinner and the Eid as a non-attendance day for our Muslim populations, which is large in this district. In 2020, there was an added crane system to the removal of the floor in the Portillo Arts Center. In 2021, he added additional school resources officer per the national guidelines of the NESRO. In 2021, he installed the Info Mass Pass security notification system throughout the whole building. From 2022 to 2023, he applied and received all federal lunch program for all students to have free cost of breakfast and lunch. In 2023, he revamped of the Swanson gym floor and 2025 scoreboards. I talked to a parent here, I understand was used to be on the board, or said her husband never really was involved in anything with the school, but he did see their children go to play the sports and was very impressed by the improvements of the sports facilities. 2023 security scanners called magnet meters for all the entrances, and 2025 new security interests for all the bus riders. 2025 new technology departments located in the Commons Room 118. 2022 digital locks for all doors. 2021 flock cameras and 360-degree HD cameras in all areas of the building. 2023 a new exhaust system for the welding shop. 2021 updated the swimming pool and central vac system of the pool. 2020 new cafeteria floor installed. 2024 softball turf field. 2022 acquisition of east parking lot. 2025 new Memorial Stadium video scoreboard. There's also been dedications and community involvement that have been extensive even during COVID. 2021 Malice Gymnasium dedication. 2021 Jason Crew Building mission vision tagline rebranding and graduation requirements for Seoul District Improvement Plan. 2023 the Mamie and Emmett Till Monument Walkway. 2023 Bedford Park Fire Department training course for students to become EMT firefighter. 2024 dedicated as a Cardi Cafe and Tony Davis Jersey retirement. 2025 construction of the Pass Gate Annex William Para boardroom dedication. 2025 Moraine Valley Community College Career Technology Grow Your Own Educator 2-year program. He negotiated four contracts in 5 years that will yield savings for taxpayers estimated at about $13 million, and will continue to support an increase of living wage for all employees, all CBA's top 10% of wages and benefits for the state of Illinois. So that's a lot of accomplishments. That's really an incredible record. And this building that we're standing is, I understand, one of the buildings mentioned that was built during his tenure. This is a letter that I'm going to read from DNF and DNF, 7646 West 63rd Street in Summit, Illinois, dated May 19th, regarding William Tullios, your board members. And I just want to point out again that Alan DNF is an alumni, and his father was a school board member, and his business is in the district. Our family has known the Tullios family for close to 100 years. We're all brought up with immigrant mentalities that was common in the 1920s and 1930s, which carried on to the later 1900s. To this day, we raised our children with the same morals and direction that we experienced as children, coming from the same area of heritage. Those values continue to pervade throughout our bodies and souls even now. We have known William Bill Tolias his entire career, growing up and being members of the same church. Bill was very active, leading the church board in various capacities over the years, including president. During his tenure, the church thrived due to his leadership and active participation. Currently, he remains active supporter of the church and its many activities. From the time he was in the elementary school, Bill wanted to be a teacher. Successfully, he made that desire come true by exemplifying himself as an educator in many positions he has held over the years, one who cares for his students and the resident lives. He has been an instructor, a sports coach, and in various administrative positions over his time, very near the horizon of his career. Now an unforeseeable matter has arisen and tarnished his long and successful career. We understand this matter has been reviewed and sanctioned as resolved. However, it appears to still be on your agenda. We can now just imagine the emotion that his teenage son has gone through, being thrust in the spotlight for using a wrong card for his purchases. We also cannot imagine the emotional distress for Bill and his family be replayed the situation by the media. Our family wholeheartedly supports Bill in this quest to put this issue behind him. A second time, we especially request for the board to do the same, retaining him in a position he so rightfully earned. Now, I know there's about $3,000 in credit card receipts that have been in question. I know that initially there was uncovered about $1,000 worth. About half of that, a little less than half, $456, was reimbursed by the credit card, and another 456 or so, I mean, the exact number, was reimbursed by my client through a check. I also handed the attorney for the school board a check of $2,000 because we have found there were about 2,000 more charges that we believe may have been in question. And this is an abundance of caution. Now, we think that the credit card should reimburse for that because either they were fraudulent or used by a third party, and we did identify about $400 or maybe even $1,000 that were used by a family member, and those have been taken care of. In terms of anything else, I think that this has made a mountain into a molehill. To quote Shakespeare, much ado about nothing, and Bill would like to stay here. His remainder, I believe he has 3 years left on his contract, if I'm not mistaken. He put his retirement letter in, I think, at about 4 board meetings ago, and his accomplishments are really quite incredible. And to the extent of all the money he's saved and all his accomplishments, a few $1,000s, or some people don't believe he should have a clothing allowance, is very small change. But we're willing to address all of this. We welcome the audit, we want the audit, and anything else that we have to do to provide, we will do, and my client will completely cooperate in anything that he's asked to do by this board. Thank you very much.
Next up, Alexander. Ms. Alexander, if you could state your full name and relationship to the board, to the school.
My name is Eva Alexander, and I'm a resident of Bridgeview. Good evening, everyone. So I've been asked to read this letter on behalf of a local 571 member who wished to remain anonymous due to fears of retaliation from within. As an educator for the past 16 years, I've witnessed many rights and wrongs within our educational system. It saddens me to learn that this specific situation has grown to become a vendetta that has impacted the school, students, and community members. Approximately 1 year ago, when our teachers union co-president sent out an urgent and alarming email asking that everyone rally against the wrongful termination of Dr. Heather Siegel-Hickman, who was not a teacher in my building, but was being treated unfairly, and in an effort we should stand in alliance and attack Argo's superintendent. It is customary that teachers within the same union and within the same building typically stand in allegiance during certain situations. However, I did not know whom this woman was. Why was our own union pressing us to rally to support her? As the story continued to unfold, more and more misinformation continued to spread, including lies that were being shared on social media platforms. Dr. Hickman portrayed herself as a victim of wrongful termination, continuing to create a false narrative about the actual events that occurred during her employment here. Upon her release, she signed an agreement which she violated as evidenced by the Patch articles, and now other individuals have received this information that only Dr. Hickman had possession of. The same information was sent out purposefully to fuel her revenge against Dr. Tulios. As a professional in education, I found this behavior distasteful and unprofessional. After speaking to several of my peers, I was informed that she created a very toxic work environment here, refused to take directives from the administration, and refused to put the needs of students before her own. She has continued to use others within the same union by dispersing and sharing the Google Drive to other school districts with the same union, including members of this board, and to take aim at Dr. Tulios. Dr. Tulios has maintained a strong connection to those within this community, and as he is a product of this community. Anyone can see that this is simply a smear campaign to defame his character, morals, and ethics, but above all, this negativity is taking away from all the positive efforts and accolades that Dr. Tulios has accomplished. Dr. Tulios held Dr. Hickman accountable for her subpar leadership as a union head here at Argo, just as he held himself accountable when he discovered that there had been charges on the school's credit card that were due to a family member who accidentally obtained access. Cassandra Vasquez Linton was also held to these expectations of accountability, of coming to work on time and treating others with respect. In August 2024, Dr. Grenier swayed the board after she had received a text message from Tara Linton Usreed, the sister-in-law of Cassandra, convincing her to save her employment. Dr. Grenier knew that these two were related, and yet she violated the school's board policy of nepotism, which is a direct conflict of interest in violation of the oath of office. Her spouse, Jamie Linton, in efforts of retaliation, held a public information gathering on May 1st. During this session, he publicly states that he and his sister, Tara Linton Usreed, have a close relationship with Dr. Grenier and trust that she will do what's right for the community. In October 2024, Dr. Grenier received a copy of the Google Drive from the Linton family that was also shared with everyone during this event. He had received the Google Drive from Dr. Hickman. Mr. Linton publicly stated that he is willfully attacking Dr. Tulios for revenge for the termination of his wife's employment here at Argo. He also stated that he personally reported Dr. Tulios and the school board to the Illinois State Board of Education and to the Illinois State's Attorney Office. Mr. Linton also stated that his sister, Dr. Grenier, created a coup, which is why she is sitting here as the president of the board. This is a blatant example of how Dr. Grenier and the Linton family strategized to unseat the previous president and take full aim at Dr. Tulios in a continuous effort to assassinate his character. It is evident that when Dr. Grenier
Mr.
violated...
Linton, you'll be asked to step out, please. Everyone is expected to talk appropriately.
Me?
Go ahead, no,
Oh, well,
no,
sorry.
keep going.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
It is evident that when Dr. Grenier violated another oath of office by divulging executive board meeting information regarding Dr. Tulios and the charges on his credit card that were reviewed, approved, and resolved by this very same board. Dr. Grenier openly violated Board Policy 280 that shared information from a closed executive session with individuals who are employed at the Bedford Park Public Works and in the softball community. Dr. Grenier has made continuous efforts to violate her own oath of office as this board's policy and this board's policies. She has made continued effort to conspire, manipulate, and fuel her own agenda to execute the desired revenge of the Linton family to remove Dr. Tulios from his position. Therefore, I implore the board to open an investigation with removal regarding Dr. Grenier's actions concerning her repeated board policy violations, misuse of power, role, and efforts to conspire with the Linton family to unlawfully subdue Dr. Tulios to a level of scrutiny that defames his character. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. On to Mr. Ted Maros. Did I miss him? No. Ted, no? Oh, he's coming. I'm sorry. I get the poll, it's like right.
I had written, Ted Maris, I'm from Palos Heights. I'm a friend of Bill's. I had written a speech and I thought, not heartfelt. So I've known Bill since we were little kids. And there's no doubt that he's intelligent. Nobody in this room should doubt his intelligence. To say that, there's some allegations on what items were charged on his credit card. You gotta be pretty stupid to charge something like that on your credit card. This is my wallet. Usually in a wrapped in leather. This credit card, my personal. This credit card, my business. Pretty easily confused. Do you know how many times I've done that? By mistake. I'm not saying that maybe Bill didn't take the Argo credit card and swipe it. You know how many times I've done that? And I continue to do that? Because these look very much similar. There was a superintendent that was charged with putting inappropriate things on his credit card. One of the items was women's personal clothing. Sounds like lingerie. When you come down to it, what happened was this teacher ripped her pants as she's walking through the school district, and it was reimbursed for her to buy her pants back. But people change things and they skew the story to fit their narrative. Nobody in this room questions Bill's intelligence as being smarter than the average person. And I think the average person would know better than to charge some of these alleged charges on their business credit card, let alone a school district credit card that is subject to everybody viewing it. I think, if anything, it's a mistake that we all make. Captain Sully, we all know who that is, drove the plane into the Hudson River. I'd be happy to be on that plane. But yet he had criticism and saying, well, he should have known better. He should have known he had enough time to make it back to the airport. Yeah, sure, if you know what's gonna happen, we make decisions quickly, we make decisions on the spot, and I'd hate to see a stain on Bill Tulios's record because he's not that guy. He's the guy who's gonna put the grocery cart back when nobody's watching. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Please come up and tell us about Mr. Linton. Name and how you're associated with the school district.
Jamie Litton, Argo alumni, 93. Before I read my statement, I'm going to first say it would be nice if people are going to come up here and speak. Oh, and I apologize for my outburst of laughter, but if they're going to come up here and speak, it would be nice if they at least gathered the proper facts before they just come up here and blatantly blurt out whatever it is they're getting their information from, because 99% of the stuff that they just said is not factual whatsoever, and it's basically a personal attack on me and my wife. Anyways, I am here to express the community's ongoing concern for the continued lack of transparency in the operations and decision-making processes of this school board. One thing that we clearly agree with from the newly elected board president's statement is that this community deserves transparency, accountability, and leadership we can trust. Unfortunately, after the events that have transpired over the past year, I fail to see how this school board will ever provide any of those qualities this community desperately deserves. From the very beginning of the allegations against the superintendent, the school board began to hide specifics of personnel reports, contract renewals, the negligent use of the superintendent's district credit card, and forced the resignation or termination of respected and tenured teachers. Obviously, there is nothing transparent in the way this school board conducts its business. The truth is, this school board failed in its leadership role to take any action and look further into the allegations into the superintendent until the community, the Illinois State Board of Education, and the media gave the board no other option but to do so. Furthermore, section 455 of the school board policy clearly states that it is the board's responsibility through the audit and approval process to determine whether district credit and procurement card use by the superintendent is appropriate and requires itemized receipts to document all purchases. So, why did the school board allow the superintendent to use the district credit card for Amazon purchases through his own personal Amazon account without ever requiring any receipts or invoices? This shows a serious lapse in oversight and accountability. Conducting an internal audit more than a year later does nothing to correct past oversights that very well might have cost taxpayers thousands of dollars. Claiming ignorance is not an acceptable excuse. Serving on the board may be a voluntary position, but it comes with a duty to uphold your oath. If you weren't prepared to do the work required in your elected position, you shouldn't have run in the first place. In conclusion, what we have here is a complete failure by the board to uphold their oath of office in respect to taxpayers' interests, a complete failure by the board to be fully transparent in conducting district business, and a complete failure by the board to perform the responsibilities stated in their own board policy. After allowing such a clear failure of oversight, how can the school board ever expect the community to trust them again? Thank you.
We couldn't hear you.
Mr. Tasso Toscanos? I'm totally butchering that name. I'm sorry, sir.
You're very close.
Very close. Okay, thank you. Please state your full name and your relationship to the school.
My name is Tasso Saganos, and I'm a resident of the school district living in Justice.
Thank you.
Madam President, members of the board, good evening. As I said, my name is Tasso Saganos, a resident of this school district, and I'm here this evening to offer my perspective on the character of Dr. William Tullios, Bill, whom I've known personally for over a decade. I understand that certain concerns have been raised and are currently under review, and I respect that the board is tasked with evaluating those matters thoroughly and fairly. While I don't have all the facts, and that responsibility rightly rests with you, I wish to offer my perspective on the man I've come to know over the past decade, who he is, how he leads, and how he treats others. I believe it's important that the board hears from individuals who have had the opportunity to work with and observe Bill over time, and in a different capacity outside of school walls. I've known Bill primarily through our church, where we've served together on the church board and collaborated on various community and personal projects. Over the years, I've come to know him not just in a social setting, but in situations that test patience, judgment, and moral character. Those are the moments that reveal a person's true character. Anyone can appear composed when things are going well, but when there's tensions in the room or pressure to compromise, that's when you see what a person is really made of. Bill has consistently shown himself to be thoughtful, principled, and honest. He does not speak or act lightly. When he gives his word, he follows through. When there is conflict, he listens carefully, responds with humility, and seeks to do what is right, not what is easy. I've seen him take on responsibility without complaint, support others without recognition, and hold himself accountable when no one else is watching. One moment that stands out to me personally happened during a season of important decision-making within our church leadership. There were differing views and high expectations, but Bill didn't raise his voice, didn't posture, he didn't deflect responsibility. Instead, he helped others feel heard, grounded the group in shared values, and guided the conversation with calm integrity. That kind of leadership doesn't draw headlines, but it leaves a lasting mark on those around him. He is also a devoted family man and a person of deep faith, someone who fears God and strives to live in a way that honors those values. Quietly but sincerely, his commitment to his family is evident in the way he speaks about them, the priority he places on them, and the values he models daily. You can often tell what matters most to a person by the way they talk when no one is prompting them. And Bill often speaks of his family with joy, humility, and a deep sense of gratitude that reflects who he is at his core. In times like these, it can be easy to define a person by a single moment or incident. But in my view, character is revealed over time, through countless small decisions how someone treats others, how they respond under pressure, and whether they live according to their values. And over the past 10 years, I've had the chance to observe those small decisions. By that standard, I can say without hesitation that Bill is a man of integrity. I trust that your process will be fair and complete, and that it will take into account the full picture of who Bill is and how he has consistently conducted himself. Thank you for your time, your attention, your commitment to this district, and thank you for allowing me to speak to you this evening.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You're on twice, so I don't know if that was just by accident, Celeste Lopez? Ms. Lopez, if you could state your full name and relationship to the school.
Yes, thank you. My name is Celeste Lopez. We live in the Bridgewood Gardens. My family and I have lived here for the past 20 plus years. All of my children went to and graduated from Argo. So the district and the community are very near and dear to our heart. That's why I'm here tonight. Dr. Goodyear, you addressed those of us that were present at the special meeting on the 5th. Thank you for doing so. I'm going to take the time now to address some of the things that you stated. But before I do, I'd like to ask you two quick questions. At the April 9th meeting, Mr. Colzo stated that the situation with the superintendent had been handled. Did you agree then, and do you agree now with the way the situation was handled?
That's why we're bringing in the external auditor.
So is that a yes? Okay.
That's why we're bringing the external auditor.
Okay, so yes, so the, being on the finance committee, did you take the necessary steps then to ensure that everything was handled with transparency?
Yes.
Great, all right, thank you. So, going on to your statement on the 5th, you offered an apology for the breakdown and oversight, you said, on behalf of the entire board. Now, breakdown and oversight would be missing a few unauthorized Amazon charges here or there. The records clearly show, though, that there was gross misspending, not mistakes, as Mr. Kepler framed them, and not to mention the thousands of dollars in adult entertainment on our dime. So, Dr. Grenier, that's not breakdown and oversight. That's clearly turning a blind eye. But you also mentioned honesty and integrity being used or will be used in resolving this matter. If they had been used up until this point, we would need no third-party auditing company or law firm. Again, on our dime. Also, in reference to how long it may take you to reply to emails, you mentioned that this is a volunteer position for you, as it is for everyone else, and that you work a full-time job. With all due respect, Dr. Grenier, if you do lack the time, perhaps maybe you should step down and allow someone else to step in that can do the role and fulfill it with integrity. Also, I apparently from one of the other speakers, you did submit your statement to the Des Plaines Valley News. I've been checking the website and it hasn't been posted there. Perhaps again, just a volunteer position, maybe you're compromised, your time is compromised, but about 6 weeks ago, three of the current...
I'm sorry, it's posted on the website.
I've been checking.
The statement is posted on the website under, yes it is.
Okay, can you tell me where it is? Because I've been looking at it.
Where do we have it posted exactly? Yeah. It's on the Argo website. Oh, you said the Des Plaines Valley
I
website?
think someone mentioned that it was submitted to the Des Plaines Valley News. I haven't seen it at all. You did
No,
email
that's
it to
not. It's on
me.
our website. That's where Des Plaines Valley
Okay.
News, I'm guessing, got it.
I got it directly from you because you
Yeah,
did
because I
email
emailed
to
it.
me.
I emailed it to you when you emailed me.
Right, so thank you very much for that. But going on, just about 6 weeks ago, 3 of the current board members were voted in by the community members in good faith. At the April 9th meeting, though, one of those community members did ask every single one of you if you at least looked at the spending, and none of you replied. And according to, I'm not actually the first person that's going to mention this, but tonight, but according to the Illinois Association of School Boards, part of your oath is to respect the taxpayer interests, that's us, by serving as faithful protectors over the district's assets, and you have failed. The entire board is accountable. The faith that you mentioned, Dr. Grenier, that you want to restore cannot be restored in a board that refuses to even acknowledge that they have failed. I'm not at all minimizing the misuse of taxpayers' fund here because, after all, who told Dr. Tulios that we want to fund his habits, nor am I minimizing the apparent fake receipts that were produced or the thousands of dollars spent in Chicago downtown hotels. And quite frankly, after most of the speakers tonight, I'm not sure we're talking about the superintendent or Mother Teresa, but we know that there's always going to be corruption in the world, and we know there's always going to be a bad apple in the bunch. But the big issue here, quite frankly, is that the entire bunch seems to have gone bad. That's the alarming issue, not the misuse of district money so much. Everyone is discussing the money allegedly spent by the superintendent. I understand that there's a review somewhat late, in my opinion. However, I do think I should mention that the school board that's supposed to protect our interests and that the community has put their trust in has shown no integrity and definitely no accountability here. And that's the deeper issue that needs to be fixed, and with all due respect, Dr. Grenier and board members, it cannot be fixed by you. Thank you.
That's me.
Hi, welcome. Say your full name, I'm sorry if I butchered that, and your relationship
Mahmoud
to the.
Solomon, a former student here. I recognize some nice faces. So good evening, everybody. Board members, thank you for having me here tonight. My name is Mahmoud Solomon. I'm here to express my support for Dr. Tulios. Previously, when I was in high school here, I was on Dr. O'Mara's student body board. I was with him, helped do a couple projects, and kind of seeing this fold up, and I got disappointed. I came here, and I don't have the full story. I'm listening to everybody speak, but I'm not as good as they are. So this is what I came up with, and this is what I believe in. I'm not just a concerned citizen. I'm a former student of Mr. Tulios. I was honored to be nominated by him personally as a distinguished alumni of Argo Community High School. That recognition meant a lot to me and my community. It came from a man who genuinely cares about his students and his community. Aside the long list of accomplishments Dr. William had done, I mean, I'm listening to over 15 to 25 accomplishments within the building construction, and he would keep us up to date on things that were completed. The Till monument outside, that meant a lot for a lot of different people, not just the African American community as well. Coming from a Palestinian community, seeing things in that nature come up, it gives a signal of careness within the community, and it's an ear open for every ethnic group. Mr. Tulios has consistently demonstrated in inclusive leadership and integrity. One example that stands out to me and to many Palestinian families or Muslim families, is that when he listened to our request to recognize Eid during Ramadan as an official school holiday, and I know you guys approved that, so thank you all for that. That means a lot. We would fast for 30 straight days. We would go to school. We will do gym. We would run, do track, and we wouldn't have a sip of water from sunrise to sundown, 10, 11, 12 hours. And then after that 30 days, we would have our holiday. It's actually right down the street. We'd do it in the stadium, and it's a day of accomplishment for us as Muslims, and then also for the community. Aside all that crazy traffic that we build up, but so that was something that I personally reached out to him about. I'm like, let's do that. That's something we wanted when we were in school. So we would have 30 days of Ramadan, and then we would be counted as absent. Now that's not the case with all these students, which is good. Aside the iftar dinner that you guys have, different foods, different backgrounds, people would come to the school, and that just brings a leg over to the high school, which is something that we didn't have before. So thank you all for that. And Bill had a lot to do with that as well. One other thing is, I'm listening to charges about $20 charges and $50 charges. I mean, I go out to lunch, and I go out to a mall, and I see somebody that's short $5 or $15. Again, you pull out your credit card, all these machines now, you put your card next to it, it rings it. $20 here, $30 here, $3,000 is what it, I guess, came up to. Am I right, wrong? You know?
Wrong.
Okay, let's say $3,000. For somebody that did all of this work, I would personally cover that $3,000 for him to continue growing what he's been doing to this high school, which is making it better and better. What is the Besides the scholarship programs that we fund every year, that's something we started with 2 years ago. That's something that we continue doing every single year. And that came from Bill and the team at the scholarship fund. So we're here tonight. I just wanted to speak what was on my mind, and I hope you guys make the right decision. Each one of you guys, I want to thank you all for having me here to speak. Thank you for all my previous teachers. Nice to see you guys, and I wish I came here at a different circumstance, but thank you again for your time.
Thank you. Violetta Trujay. Want to hear about petition to speak to the board would like to come up?
Me.
Yes, of course. Hi, state your name and your association with the school.
Catherine Pollock, community member, alumni of 6 here as of yesterday. So I've been sitting here listening to what everybody's been saying. And they're saying how much work he did here. As you guys know from the one meeting I spoke at, he did teach my second oldest here. I thought he was wonderful. He was absolutely wonderful. All 6 of my kids loved him. What he did with the school credit card still is unacceptable. You can't make a mistake. A mistake is something, as you and I talked at that meeting, a mistake is something that you do once, not continuous, not on Amazon, not on these porn websites. So how they're saying that he's this wonderful man, he took our money. We're taxpayers. The students here heard about this. They've lost respect for him. Teachers know that. They spoke about that at the last meeting. They were struggling. So like, who's helping these teachers with these kids with this, right? And if we're gonna say that it's okay for this superintendent to get away with this, like they want, first of all, I don't even know how he could show his face around here again after what he's done, honestly. But I think we should issue, as a community member, I'm sure others would agree, is issue each teacher here a credit card that they could use under the school district. Because they put a lot of money into their classrooms for their students, more than what they're given, right? I mean, what's fair is fair. I mean, if a superintendent is gonna be allowed to spend stuff on Amazon, watch porn, the teachers should be able to get some kind of kickback also, help during the year. You know, he's a church member, yeah, but he donated money to that church at our expense. And his son, what he's going through, as Mr. Tulios' attorney said, yes, that's a shame. But he put his son in that position by saying that his son took his credit card. None of us. And he's the one that said that a family member did that. So once again, with these people, how is that okay? Right?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else like to address the board? Hi, ma'am, state your name and your association with the school.
My name is LaShawn Johnson. I'm in Justice, Illinois. I just want to say that I find the behavior of this board absolutely appalling. If you remove Dr. Tulios, then the state should come in and remove all 7 of you. Your board president and her executive board here have dealings with not only these people who don't even live in the district, but also have ties to Dr. Hickman and the union. Look at your agenda. Under the Freedom of Information request, your own board member, Mrs. Luz Rangel, sent in a request for Dr. Hickman. It looks like she's trying to gather information to give back to Dr. Hickman. Dr. Veneer's letter states that the changes were an oversight that happened. How are approved changes an oversight that happened? How are approved changes on Dr. Tulios' credit card an oversight after he brought them forward to you? You all as a board member look absolutely terrible. And now you're trying to cover your tracks by trying to remove Dr. Tulios from his seat after a mistake that you all made. This is not his fault, and being honest is not fair. Divulging information from executive board meeting sessions in public is a violation of a school board member's oath of office. Or was that an oversight? As far as I'm concerned, you all gave the Linton family the fuel that they needed to start the fire. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to address the board? Please come up, state your name. Hold on one second, Marcelo. You'll be next.
Good evening, Mark Carvey, former student and community member. Numerous speakers have came up here today essentially saying there's an agenda behind the efforts to investigate Dr. Tulios' credit card activity. And I'm here to say that I've you know, I'm not at this meeting because anyone asked me to be. I didn't speak up at a previous meeting because anyone asked me to be. I spoke up because it was the right thing to do, and I'm a community member and I care. And so the idea that this is all an agenda on behalf of a former teacher, on behalf of current board members, I think is silly. I also heard numerous speakers reference the credit card transactions as a mistake. And for anyone who says that, I would invite you to look at the statements yourself and decide for yourselves if you think they're mistakes.
We have you?
Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
All of them.
Okay.
Every single one
All
of
right,
them.
guys, please, everyone has the respect to talk up here. Okay.
Dozens of transactions over the course of more than a year for thousands and thousands of dollars is not a mistake. And then bringing them up, a fraction of that amount up and paying it off is not accountability, especially when there were so many thousands of dollars that he did not acknowledge and he did not repay the district until he was forced to. That's not accountability. And I appreciate this board's efforts to hold Dr. Tulios accountable. I hope an independent investigation is conducted and the facts are what the facts are. But until then, I just think these statements about Dr. Tulios' character are, quite frankly, irrelevant. And thank you.
Anyone else like to come up and speak on behalf? Marcella?
I walk slow, okay?
Don't worry, Marcelo, come on up.
Jenny,
Good to see you, sir.
I haven't seen you for a long time.
Tell us your
And I
name
know
and your
you-
association with the board.
Certainly. My name is Marcelo Aguilar. I'm a former Argo graduate. I'm a former Argo school teacher. I'm a former alumni. I'm a former school board member. Now, I am not here to judge. I am not here to say, well, this, that, and the other. All I am saying is that in fairness to everybody, to the board, to our residents, to the teachers and everybody else, that I have faith as school board members, you will look at everything and for the best of everyone, that you do what's best for everyone. Jenny, thank you very much.
Thank you, Marcelo.
No more softball?
No more softball. Have a good day. Anyone else would like to address the board? All right, going once, going twice. We're going to move on to our agenda now. Thank you, everyone. On to approval of minutes. May I get a motion to approve the April 9th, April 23rd, May 5th, regular and special board meeting minutes as presented? Second, so moved by Luz, seconded by Dr. Kozel. Thank you. All right, and now we're going to go on to the president's report. Discussion and action, approval of consent agenda, personnel report. May I have a motion to approve the personnel report dated May 21st, and it's in your packet there, everyone, 2025, including new hires, new positions, leave requests, resignations, retirements, and terminations as presented. So moved by Mr. Vasquez, second. And it is approval of consent agenda. 8. We approved all of those.
All of the
Yes. Yeah. Oh, a roll call. Sorry, everyone. I'm still learning it. Yes. So can I get a roll call, please? Thank you.
DiCaprio,
Yes.
Tozo,
Yes.
Vasquez,
Yes.
Jasvia,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Grenier,
Yes.
yes. 7-0.
Thank you for reminding me, ma'am. All right, we're going to move on to President's Report, discussion, action, approval of consent agenda, personal report. May I get a motion to approve the President's Report dated personnel report dated May 21st, 2025, including new hires, new positions, leave requests, resignations, retirement, and termination as presented.
So moved.
Second. Lewis and second by Kozel on that one. On a roll call, please.
Caprio. Kozel.
Yes.
Vasquez.
Yes.
Jasvier. Yes. Ponce.
Yes.
Grenier.
Yes.
Raymond. Yes.
All right, thank you. And motion moves 7-0. On to accounts payable in April. May I get a motion to approve the accounts payable and impressed account reports to the amount of $2,900,000?
So moved.
So moved by Kozel, second.
Dr. Greener, I need you to read this.
Oh, I'm sorry. 2,000, sorry. 2,903,000, 2,903,930.84 and 40 cents. Got that?
So moved.
So moved. Second by Caprio. On a roll call, please.
Caprio. Kozel.
Yes.
Vasquez. Jasvier. Yes. Ponce. Grenier.
Yes.
Raymond. Yes.
All right, that's 7-1. We'll go on to our financial report and monthly payroll. May I have a motion to approve the financial report and monthly payroll report for the month of March 25th and April 25th as presented? So moved by Vasquez, second by Jasviak. Any, on a roll call, please.
Caprio.
Yes.
Kozel.
Yes.
Vasquez.
Yes.
Jasvier. Yes. Ponce.
Yes.
Grenier. Raymond.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Discussion action approval of the 2025-2027 board committees. May I have a motion to approve the following board member committee appointments to be effective through the 2027 board reorganizing meeting? Yes,
Who decided that? Who chose those?
I did. Me and Kathy.
Okay,
Yeah.
just wanted to know. Thank you.
All right. Academic will be Dan Kozel and Louis Raymond. Community relations will be Nick Caprio and Diane Ponce. Finance will be Jen Grenier and Catherine Jasviak. Life safety and facilities will be Nick Caprio and Mike Vasquez. Policy and personnel will be Kathy Jasviak and Mike Vasquez. May I have a motion to approve the following delegates and records? Oh, I'm sorry. May I have a motion to approve the following board member committees?
So moved.
So moved by Raymond, second by Caprio. On a roll call, please.
Caprio.
Yes.
Kozel.
Yes.
Vasquez.
Yes.
Jasvier. Yes. Ponce.
Yes.
Grenier.
Yes.
Raymond. Yes.
All right, 7-0. Motion, may I have a motion to approve the following delegates and representatives? Arrow will be Diane Ponce, Lions TTO Jen Grenier, ISB South Cook Jen Grenier and Kathy Jasviak, NSBA Jen Grenier and Catherine Jasviak, IASB Jen Grenier as representatives, Scope Jen Grenier and Catherine Jasviak. May I get a motion, please, to approve the following delegates and representatives?
So moved.
So moved by Dr. Kozel, seconded by Jasviak. Thank you. All right, on a roll call, please. Thank you.
Caprio.
Yes.
Kozel.
Yes.
Vasquez.
Yes.
Jasvier. Yes. Ponce. Yes. Grenier.
Yes.
Raymond. Yes.
Yes. And then informational, we have an Arrow update, Ms. Diane Ponce.
So I have here the packet from last night's meeting with Arrow, and my comments are in the front for the board to review. There are 3 things, though, I'd like to put on for next month's agenda. 2 items I'd like to put on the agenda and 1 for executive. So, do I just hand it over to you? Said packet?
Yeah, said packet to the next board meeting. All right, and note, I'm gonna move, item A to D to be moved into the executive session. Thanks, Ms. Ponce.
It'll be called after executive.
After executive session, to move to after executive session. All right, informational. Any board members interested in making a personal contribution to the Argo Higher Education Golf Foundation outing for either T sponsors, please contact Claudia or any golfers we're looking for. Informational 2025 joint annual conference and Illinois Association of School Board, Illinois Association of School Administrators, Illinois Association of School Business officials will be 21st to 23rd. If you're interested in attending, just notify Claudia. All right, we're going to go down to our, I'm also, as many of you quoted in my statement from the last time, informational. I'm following up on another statement that I will share as of today. And again, since we had a special board meeting, I wanted to share with all of you again. This message is a follow-up to my original statement on May 5th. As the newly elected president of the school board, I understand the concerns, frustration, and disappointment you have felt during the ongoing investigation into the possible misuse of school funds by our superintendent. While the full scope is still under review and will look back several years, I want to assure you that we are taking immediate steps to address the situation with transparency and accountability. On behalf of the entire board, I again, the second time, say we apologize for the oversight that has occurred. You deserve leadership you could trust, and I'm committed to earning that trust through honest, decisive action. We deeply care about the integrity and trust with our community. Like I stated last meeting, we've engaged Meaden & Moore, who is an independent third-party auditing firm, to conduct a comprehensive audit of the district financial records, including all credit card transactions. They have received extensive documentation, and the audit is now underway. We're also in the process of hiring an external law firm to assist with areas of the review beyond the scope of the auditors and enhance district safeguards. The board is expected to take action on this selection today, this evening, during open session following our executive session. We're committed to keeping you updated and addressing any concerns you may have. But again, like many of you have stated already, this is a volunteer position, and I will answer emails when I'm done with my day job. But that does not mean I'm not committed, and I don't think that was fair. I'll respond to emails in the evening at grenierjen@argohighschool.net. Thank you for your unwavering support and committed to our schools. We're here to address any concerns you have, and we're gonna work together for a resolution. And we're gonna move forward with integrity and purpose. Thank you. All right, now we're gonna go on to the interim superintendent's report, Dr. Brandon Cotter.
Okay, discussion action, approval to adjourn to executive session for the purpose of discussing the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the public body, including hearing testimony on a complaint lodged against an employee to determine its validity, collective bargaining, collective negotiating matters, and deliberations concerning salary schedules.
Pending probable and imminent litigation. Is that on yours?
See, yeah, pending probable and imminent litigation, correct. Yeah, so I do a roll call on that? So I motion? Do I do a motion on that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Call for motion.
Can I get a motion on that, please?
So moved.
All right, so second? Second by, Jasmine. On a roll call, please?
And this is to take the news.
Executive session, yeah.
All of 9A, 9B, 9C, and 9B.
Well, no, just for that first one right now.
Just for,
Yeah.
okay. Caprio,
Yes.
Kozo, Vasquez, Josvia, Ponce,
Yes.
Renier,
Yes.
Raymond.
All right, and then discussion approval for the SY 25-26 administrator and at-will merit pay
So we're gonna move that to executive.
with executive
for-
session, okay. So we'll move that to executive session and come back then, Brandon?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you. And then C, approval for the SY 2025-2026 IHSA membership.
Okay, yep.
That's okay? Okay, may I have our motion to approve the 2025-2026 IHSA membership as presented?
I apologize, sorry.
What?
Do we have to include 9B to executive session and vote on it again? And vote on it, vote on that?
We're gonna go to-
Vote on that, or just put it together with the 9A?
We're gonna vote on it separately when we come back out.
Okay, so then put another
Yeah.
9A, but we don't vote on
9B is not
It's
been
not
called
yet.
for, not yet.
Yeah.
It will be called after executive.
Okay, I see, all right. So,
All right, so can I get a motion to approve the 2025-26 IHSA membership as presented? So moved by Mike Vasquez, second by Ponce, thank you. And, Mike and Ponce.
yes.
Yes, on a roll call, please.
Caprio,
Yes.
Kozo,
Yes.
Vasquez,
Yes.
Josvia, Ponce,
Yes.
Renier,
Yes.
Raymond, yes.
That's 7-0. Do I have to list out all the FOIAs, or just as
I think-
informational?
So we have a variety of FOIAs, and all the FOIAs have either been completed or are in the process of being completed, and they'll be finished before the required time.
There are 33 of them. I have to Informational, and first one, Dr. Dr. Heather Siegel Hickman. Do I have to read everything that's in there then?
You don't have to read all of these.
You don't have to read all of
This
them.
is just a report to the board
Report.
of the FOIA requests that have been submitted.
Okay.
And Dr. Cotter just reported
Yeah,
that
they've all either been completed or in the process, and they'll be completed before the required timeline.
Okay, sounds good, thank you. All right, so we're gonna go on to E, informational board committee minutes. Finance committee on April 9th. Anything to add? That's just informational. Human resource director, Mr. Greg Dietz.
Yes, so tonight, the board has several policies before them for a first reading. So these are informational tonight, there's no action needed on these. However, in response to a change in federal law regarding Title IX, where the current administration has moved the Title IX regulations back to the 2020 standards, and in addition to a few Illinois state statutes and public acts that have been approved at the state level, those law changes affected a lot of our policies. And so before you tonight, for a first reading, you have one new policy, and this is in response to the Ensuring Success in School law. And that is a brand new policy related to students who have been victims of domestic or violence, and also related to expectant parents and students who actually have children. So it's a new law that provides them some rights. It's a brand new policy that I think you can review in this next month's time span. We also have 27 updates that are recommended from the Illinois Association of School Boards. 5 totally rewritten policies recommended by the Illinois Association of School Boards. And then we have 35 more that are just up for our standard review and monitoring. And so, again, the policy committee reviewed those today, and all of the recommendations that are recommended by the legal team from the Illinois Association of School Boards is what our policy committee has accepted, and those will come before you again for a second reading next month. So if any board members have any questions for me in the interim, please feel free to contact me.
It was quite extensive, what I reviewed.
Yeah, there's a couple major laws changes had major impacts on a lot of policies, and then very minor impacts on others where they changed the word sexual discrimination to sexual harassment to sex discrimination and vice versa. So, yeah.
All right, thank you. Nothing to vote on, right? Nothing. Okay, so we're gonna go on to principals report. Dr. Cotter?
So in regards to upcoming events, I mean, really, we have summer school coming up, and we have a variety of athletic camps. Those are all being communicated out through our website to students that can take advantage. But going to a past event, I just want to thank all of the faculty and staff involved in graduation, and give a particular shout out to Ms. Wasco. I felt like this was a particularly well done graduation. That is all I have.
All right, thank you. Assistant principals report. I'll start with Mr. Dagres.
nothing to report this morning.
Thank you, Mr. Dagres. Ms. Wasco?
As Dr. Cotter said, we completed a successful graduation last night. And the only other thing I wanted to bring up is that for registration this year, we're well over 700, which typically doesn't happen until mid-July. So I'm very excited that we're getting those numbers and getting people in to register earlier.
Thank you.
Do they come with their fees?
We're working on that.
Ms. Cattell, thank you.
Nothing at this time, just finishing the end of the school year.
Yeah, thank you. All right, Mr. Seemoff?
Only have one motion item. Staff device refresh, it's this time of the year that 46 staff members need to have their device replaced, and I'm asking the board to approve the proposal as presented. We've personally touched base with those staff members to ask them what kind of device they want. And we have 3 kinds of devices available to staff members based on their needs and their position. They're listed here on the proposal, on the memo. multiple.
All right, next, so, may I have a motion to approve the faculty and staff devices procurement plan as presented?
So moved.
So moved by Kozel, second by Ponce, on a roll call, please.
Happy.
Yes.
Kozel.
Yes.
Vasquez.
Yes.
Jasvier. Yes. Ponce.
Yes.
Grenier.
Yes.
Raymond. Yes.
Thank you, 7-0. Mr. Notnagle.
Very briefly, the addition of the secured entry into the cafeteria is on target, on progress, with progress as far as for no delays, to be completed in a timely fashion, which will change the way that the buses change slightly the way the buses are dropping off currently, but it'll make it a much more secure entry into the building for our student population. Additionally, we have other projects that are in process now that the summer is almost, or the school year is almost complete, and we will be kicking off a major to-do with several things outside as well as inside. Just informational only, everything's moving along fine. No particular holdups.
All right, thank you, Gary. Assistant Superintendent of Finance, Dr. Roja.
Good evening, everyone. Wanted to, we're going to be presenting 6 reports tonight. The first is a simple request to prepare the fiscal year budget for FY 2026 in accordance with Illinois School Code.
All right, thank you. May I have a motion to approve resolution 2425R14, authorizing the preparation and publication of the 2025-2026 tentative budget as presented?
So moved.
So moved by Kozel, second by Josviak. On a roll call, please.
Caprio. Kozel.
Yes.
Vasquez.
Yes.
Jasvier. Yes. Ponce.
Yes.
Grenier.
Yes.
Raymond, yes.
All right. Number B, approval of supplemental health.
Yes, so we have constant contact, monthly meetings with our healthcare provider. We use a broker that has sought out the best rates for all of our district employees. We're with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. One of the discoveries that I came across this year is with the changing demographics in healthcare and how the state has funded several people that had just made their passage to Illinois, about 70% of the policy that is Illinois' Blue Cross Blue Shield comes from the entire state of Illinois. I heard something that is a little scary, that our premium may increase by as much as 30% initially for the $4.7 million that we spend in healthcare for all of our staff. And so usually we negotiate that down about 10 percentage points, working in close proximity with our vendor. We take a lot of pride in this process. But in doing a lot of research and looking at it, and just as a person, father of 3, and looking at just a lot the out-of-pocket costs, the pharma costs, the cost of, or opportunity cost of being out of work if you don't have the days, I actually met with our broker, and it was kind of an enjoyable project to look at voluntary additional options for our employees, which would cover unforeseen situations with an accident in baseball, softball, or it could be if you lost your job. Different policies that are competitively priced, MetLife, Equitable, and Allstate all sort of bid out through with the broker. What we are looking to do is offer these additional options to the staff so that they have options, because what we're concerned about is the out-of-pocket costs for medical are pretty scary right now. And I would like to have the board approve this so that we offer other additional options, again, voluntary for staff, so they can speak with representatives to help them with maybe some gaps that they have in their medical insurance.
I have a question.
Yes.
Would this be an additional increase, premium for the district that the district
No.
would have to pay? So this is just an added, like Catholic, right?
Yeah, so this is like similar to vision. So vision is something that's additionally offered for staff. It's not provided to everyone. And so you can opt in, opt out. But we were looking at some of the pricing, and it was extremely competitive. So, you know, it would be a payroll deduction. And so you can budget for, again, those unforeseen circumstances. And again, as a family, father of 3, like things come up all the time, and we're like, why is another $1,000 bill on top of what the insurance covered? And so these are things that will cover that and mitigate those household monthly costs.
Thank you.
Dr. Rochek, you mentioned if somebody loses your job, so is that similar to COBRA?
So it's, no, it'd be like situations like where if an unforeseen medical injury or
So it's like a
disease
supplemental
cancer,
Okay.
something like that happened and you had to take time off of your job to actually pay for it.
Oh, okay.
This insurance would kick in and pay all your, would cover your costs.
If they take that option.
If they
yeah,
take it.
if they
This
take
is not something being provided, but the great thing is the buying power that comes with this. Allstate came through and really hit a home run with it, and even the brokers was like, wow, we couldn't believe how they really came to this. So it was a fun project to work on, and I think it's gonna offer additional benefits, again, completely voluntary.
Okay, may I get a motion to approve the supplemental health insurance offerings to employees for the 25-26 school year?
So moved.
So moved by Caprio, second by, Luz. On a roll call, please.
Caprio.
Yes.
Kozel.
Abstain.
Vasquez.
Abstain.
Josviak.
Yes.
Ponce.
Yes.
Grenier.
Yes.
Raymond. Yes.
All right, approval of change order number 1 for the cafeteria vestibule project.
So we have two projects that have been bundled into one competitive bid for the new cafeteria vestibule project and also the new IT tech center that's being built. One of them is an interior project, one of them is a completely new exterior project. The total cost for the project was $1.156 million. Built into that was a $25,000 contingency in the event that a surprise would come up for such a project. As we have seen, and Gary and I can talk about this all day, we find out things all the time that were buried underground from 50 years ago, 70 years ago. And in this case, when we dug up the fence posts to build the cafeteria vestibule, we found that concrete foundations were poured on gas pipes, a 3-inch gas pipe that had already broken open. And so a completely dangerous situation that fed gas line to our cafeteria. And in addition, when you do anything in a school project with state codes and everything, they're extremely strict. So there was removal of soil that cost approximately $25,000. The Metropolitan Water Reclamation District had a specific need for something for the foundation, it was about $2,500. And then we had additional costs to reroute this entire gas pipe for safety at a cost of $34,000. So essentially, absorbing the $25,000 contingency, this change order is basically a total of $37,527.74 for the board to approve tonight.
Thank you. I have a motion to approve the change order number 1 for the cafeteria vestibule project as presented.
So moved.
So moved by Kozel, second by Josiak. On a roll call, please.
Caprio.
Yes.
Kozel.
Yes.
Vasquez.
Yes.
Josviak. Yes. Ponce.
Yes.
Grenier.
Yes.
Yes. For me.
All right. Approval of 7-0. Approval of the baseball fields drainage project.
So for those of you who have seen Lake Argo out there, when the baseball field floods, it floods bad. It literally looks like a lake. And so I remember just recently when we had a big storm out there, it took 2.5 days of our crews going out there manually pumping water with setting up pumps and drains and pushing it into detention. That's not fair to our baseball team or practices for games, whatever it may be. There was multiple cancellations. If you look at our softball field, which we're so excited about last year, that field would drain a 6-inch rainstorm in probably 10 minutes after the rain subsides. We love things like that. However, with the Harlem Bridge project that's going on, that's going to be a major project that's going to take several years to complete. With that, there's a lot of sort of encumbrance on the district's land, and it would not make sense to try to do a turf field for several reasons. The cost of removal of dirt could be as much as $2 million. And we don't want to build something and have to disturb it and redo it again at a cost of taxpayer money. With that being said, the gentleman and the company called Team Real, who built our softball field, competitively bid through the cooperative process here in the state of Illinois, which is what we are required to do to go out to bid. He came back with a solution that will solve our drainage issues for the field, which will not have to absorb 2.5 days worth of work to drain Lake Argo. Will give the field a whole new refreshing look. We reseeded. We'll have all the automatic pump functions pushing out into retention pond and allow our players to practice the same day, potentially later in the day, and have games. We don't want to cancel our practices. However, because it doesn't make sense to build a turf field, and it may take 7 years before we get to that point, at a cost of $80,000, we are proposing that the field have these multiple drainage tiles placed in with necessary pumps. This will require a little bit of paint because it's going to take several months for everything to take shape, but we would do that after the season's completed. And we ask for the board's approval for this project to improve our baseball.
Has that been discussed with engineers for approval for the permits? Because we've had problems in the past with getting permits.
Yeah, so Team Real is probably one of the best when it comes to working with MWRD. And that field, the softball field in particular, was a laborious project with MWRD. And if it wasn't, believe it or not, for the drainage that we did for this building, we would have never been able to get that field. It's all done on like a calculation square footage piece. But yeah, that's where Tim comes into play to make sure that we have the necessary permits and everything else working with the city and so forth.
Okay, thank you. May I have a motion to approve the baseball field drainage project as presented?
So moved.
So moved by Kozel, second by Mike. Yes, Chris. Roll call, please.
Caprio?
Yes.
Kozel?
Yes.
Vasquez?
Yes.
Johnson? Yes. Ponce?
Yes.
Renier?
Yes.
Raymond, yes.
All right. Discussion action, approve for pitch and putt golf hill project.
To the credit of our buildings and grounds team here, we had sort of a forest that had sort of built up behind the track over there, the back 40 over there. And what we did was we took piles of dirt that would have cost us $1 million to haul away, and then with the topsoil that was, again, non-contaminated from the softball field, which all had to be tested, we essentially have crafted a big hill, which will turn into a Argo pitch and putt, so that the boys and girls golf teams will have a place to actually practice probably some of the most difficult parts of being a golfer here on campus. Again, Team Rail going through the cooperative process, we had spent a lot of time in the design and discussion around this, because when you're doing something on a hill, there's movement, there's shifting. And so the turf is not like a traditional turf on a baseball field. It's like the turf you would see like when you're driving from a driving range. Thank you. So basically it would be sort of tucked into the topography with multiple holes, multiple 1, 2, 3, par 3, par 1, par 4, for the students to hit into with the proper netting and so forth for our students. This would expand the golf team's abilities to be successful. And with it being sort of a turf green, it's going to be easy to manicure because we're not going to need the necessary equipment to cut turf. I don't know if you've ever, I'm sorry, not turf, the green, that's special mowers and so forth. It'll be seeded, and then we'll have something that looks nice with flags and so forth. So at a cost of $206,146, and you can see that includes all the turf and building and everything else, we are able to provide this great opportunity for our golf teams.
All right. I have a motion to approve the pitch and putt golf hill project for the Argo golf team as presented.
So moved.
So moved by Caprio, second by Dr. Kozel. On a roll call, please.
Caprio?
Yes.
Kozel?
Yes.
Vasquez?
Yes.
Johnson? Yes. Ponce? Yes. Renier?
Yes.
Raymond, yes.
All right, and then we have some informational and correspondence.
Oh, I got one more, sorry.
Sorry, did I miss one?
Yeah, so we had the
I'm
annual,
sorry, information.
we had the annual workers' compensation audit, and fortunately, the district only saw 3 claims totaling $240.10. We've done a lot of slip, trip, and falls meetings. We've had union representation at all these meetings where we've talked about how to make the district safer. We haven't had any major anything happen, and it's going to reduce our costs here to have not only public risk fund and annual workers' compensation insurance. So again, it's just a sharing the information that we're doing well when it comes to this specific area.
We had no claims this year?
No claims.
I'm sorry?
No claims this year, is that right?
No,
Or
$24.
$24.
We had three claims totaling $240 from 1/1 through 25.
Thanks, Joe. All right, so we are now going to adjourn to executive session at 8:10. I don't know how long it will be, everyone. Feel free to stick around. We will come back into open forum. Can I get a aye vote to adjourn to executive session at 8:10?
Aye.